This video is going to cover the complete joystick kit going on a 4000 series John Deere tractor. We've got the 4440 in this video. That is the most common one that we're selling this kit for, but it will fit any of the 4000 series John Deere tractors. The kit comes with complete installation instructions. You've got the schematic, which shows all the components, and there's written installation instructions with pictures. And then the Power Beyond block, which is used for supplying the oil to and from the valve. The complete installation instructions are included with that as well. This kit that we are taking a video of today is what we call a 3-function kit. It has 2 manual functions for controlling the loader and the bucket, and then there's an electric 3rd function, which is controlled with buttons on the joystick handle, and then that's opening and closing the grapple. We do sell a 2-function kit as well. If you don't have a grapple on your bucket, then it would be exactly the same kit, but minus the electric 3rd function component. So there would be no buttons on the joystick, there'd be no wiring harness, and then there would not be that electric 3rd spool on the control valve either. This is a close-up of the control valve. This is the 3-function control valve. You've got the electric spool right here, and that's going to be controlling the grapple. You can see it's got the electric solenoids on there as well. And then these two right here, these 2 spools, those are manual. They're operated by a cable, and they are controlling the loader and the bucket. This bracket is included in the kit as well. It is bolted to the tractor frame. It's using 2 existing bolt holes in the tractor frame. In this setup, the mount, the bolt is going through the mount as well. That might vary depending on which exact loader you have on your 4000 series John Deere tractor. The individual quick couplers are included. There's 6 of those, both the male and the female sides are included. You've got over here, we'll show a close-up because you can't see it in this part, but coming in from this side, there's the pressure, and then this side is the return. And then this port here, that has a plug in it, so that is plugged off. So this control valve is set up with closed center hydraulics to match the closed center hydraulics of the 4000 John Deere series tractors. The hoses going up to the steel lines on the loader, as well as a hose wrap, are also included in the kit. Here you can see the bracket where it's attached to the bolt holes of the tractor frame a little more clearly. This is the bottom part of that same bracket, so that it's L-shaped. Up here it's bolted to the frame of the tractor, and then down here it is bolted to the skids of the control valve. This is just showing the one bolt, but it's bolted in 4 places. This is the bracket that the control valve is bolted to, looking at it from underneath, looking up at it. Here you can see the 4 bolts that the skids of the control valve are being held to the bracket with. Over here is the pressure hose. The pressure hose is installed on a side port on the inside of the control valve. And then, as you can see here, the bracket has a hole so that the pressure hose can be installed to the pressure port on the control valve. Both the pressure hose and the return hose are both running back to the rear of the tractor, where the Power Beyond block, which is also included in our kit, is installed. This is the rear of the tractor where the Power Beyond block is installed. What the Power Beyond block is doing is it's allowing you to have the pressure line and the return line going to the control valve while still leaving your rear remotes free on your tractor. I am holding in my hand a sample Power Beyond block. At the top here, this is the port that the pressure hose goes into, and then on the side there's actually two return ports that can be used, you would only use one or the other. Normally the top one is the one that's going to be used, but whichever one works best for where you're putting it can be used. And then what's interesting about the 4000 series tractor is that there's actually 3 different spots that you can put the Power Beyond block. This is the remote that we recommend installing the Power Beyond block on, but as far as the design of the tractor goes, it can also be installed on this remote or this remote. This is the Power Beyond block installed. This remote, there were 4 existing bolts which are removed. The remote was pulled back, the Power Beyond block was put in, and then longer bolts were installed to replace the existing bolts. This is the pressure line at the top. And this is the return line over here. Here we've got the cables coming into the control valve. The cable connector hardware is included in the kit. The cables are included. These are controlling the loader and the bucket. And then there's different wires included with the wiring harness, but this is one of the pieces of the wiring harness. This is another piece of the wiring harness. There is a knockout hole in the floor of the cab underneath the rubber mat. And you can see that there, the cables and the wiring harness are going up through that. What I'm doing now is opening the access door. This gives us a nice view of the joystick and the brackets that are mounting it. The joystick mount brackets, there's 2 pieces. There's this piece here, which has a bend in it, and then bolted to that is an L-shaped piece that can be adjusted based on the angle of the joystick that you want, and then that is the piece that the joystick itself is bolted to. You can see here there's the smiley face, which allows you to swivel that L piece back and forth based on the angle that you want with your joystick. And then this piece in this one is bolted to the side of the cab. But it can also be bolted to the console if that's your preference. I'm just gonna pull back here and get a shot of how that joystick is mounted in the cab. This is showing the joystick from a different angle. I'm going through the door of the cab. I'm going up inside the cab. And so this is looking at the joystick from sitting in the seat. A close-up on the joystick as well. You've got the 2 buttons here, which are controlling the open and close of the grapple. And then you pull the rubber boot up here. You see that there's a bolt and threads down there. That can be loosened. And then the joystick, which the stem has an angle to it, you can move that left or right. You can swivel that left or right and then tighten up that bolt again. And then you can put it at whatever angle is the most comfortable for the operator. And then here also we're looking at the cables and the wiring harness, which is going down through the knockout hole in the floor, which is accessed underneath the rubber mat here. This little red wire here is a piece of the wiring harness, and that's threaded under the mat here and then comes up under here to access the fuse box.